THI, we're all in it together. One suffers, we all suffer. And if the rest of humanity thought that way, what a planet we'd have. We're caring for people who live 2,000 miles away you've never met. Isn't that the best way to be? Should be. Now, I've been asked, this will be the last piece that I threw in today, to mention about the fun and games at Gaia TV, which is going to bring our old friends Wilcock and Goode into question again. It goes way beyond the bullshit that Corey and his blue chicken cult, which is all fake. There is no blue avians. I told people that a long time ago. Head of the Gaia TV Corp is a Coven member. When we outed this on THI a couple of years ago as well. They're involved in dark occult practices that are funded, Gaia TV, funded by deep state intelligence and tasked with controlling the spiritually minded disclosure movement, as well as burying true free energy, yes, advanced health and technologies research, and light and sound tech and ascension research using lawfare and health damaging technologies are spreading across the web. Well, this is covered by someone called You Are Free TV. It has rumbled in the background. Both Randy and I were aware of the issues, Randy more than I, at the top end of Gaia TV. If only they would have listened, all the people that have subscribed to that would have listened to myself, Randy Morgans, and Shane the Runer, where we warned of this back in 2015 and 16, long before Bill Ryan and others jumped on the bandwagon. Wilcock and Goode were told and knew about it before they signed up for their lucrative contracts about being part of a coven. They knew. Shane told them. We told them. And they still willingly participated. So let's not have a wave of sympathy for old poor David and old poor Corey. They were duped. They knew and rolled out fake scripts. Other people's stories, both partially fact and mainly fiction, where Goode was concerned. That was far from delivering disclosure, but actually participating in stifling disclosure. That's what they've done. What have they offered for the last 2 years since THI outed them fully? Nothing. Collected a lot of money though. And then they had the conference with all the children's stuff and their 3-year harvesting program. Really? Most people will have missed that. With the two front headline kids who are not something to be seen as setting an example. But the irony of Wilcock and this week reporting intel from our show has not been lost on me. That's what he's reduced to. He got exposed, the agency cut him off, Gaia TV got exposed, and he's got nothing left. Sound familiar? Previous show host was an example of that. As per usual, they used another group to garner the credit for swiping the cabal funds. Well, THI members know who gets the credit for that. And it certainly wasn't the Alliance. Funny nobody told Kim or I or the team that we were part of the Alliance. That reminds me of the days when Cobra used to give credits for missions that were done by people on the ground to Ashtar Command. I wish listeners would have been on that call we had with Cobra. Because Tanath tore Cobra a new asshole over credit and Ashtar Command with all kinds of missions and mission pluses that were nothing to do with Ashtar Command. She really went to town on them. But the important thing is it was done, not by whom at this point. Credits can be handed out later, but THI members know who swiped all the cabal funds, and not because it's just the cabal, because all of them were illegal, illicit funds, and all of it is pledged back to the trust that they owe. So it's not just a case of we'll swipe them because they've swiped us. No, these had lawful reasons behind it, hence the executive order back in December. But I expect Wilcock to come back into the fold more readily than he has since the heat's been turned on him by this show and Randy's. No doubt we'll get a wailing show with Kerry again of I didn't know they were setting me up, but he did. And both Randy and I gave a joint statement last year to Wilcock and Corey and an out card to jump out and come forward. Both of them chose to ignore it and continued to collect vast sums of money from Gaia TV contracts and then mug listeners for moving costs and his wife's teeth. I mean, you can't make this shit up. Though the fabled blue chickens now has been completely dropped from the narrative and are no longer part of the alliance, or whatever else they're choosing to call it now. Corey, if any of his story is real, particularly the SSP, the Blue Avian is 100% bullshittery. Those of you who listened when I was in CV, I told you that back in June of 2015. But Corey's admitted working for the SSP, which is a Nazi breakaway group intending on stifling humanity at first and then eliminating them. And yet only a few people originally questioned that narrative. I did kind of go out on a limb when they were at their peak of the popularity on that show back in June 2015. Seems so long ago now. Seems more than 3 years anyway. When I called into question the whole Corey Goode narrative, I think we are rather close to that call out being proven 100% correct. Gaia TV will go down and the Coven member will be exposed, and the other clans that are involved in occult practices. Those two clans will get exposed and ultimately will be hung out to dry by the Covens. What we have to be careful is watching for the replacements. They're going to get hung out to dry. Like all the other people who work for the agencies, the minute they get exposed, Keenan, they all go missing, one way or another.